Today I'm going to be taking you on one of the most stunning short cycles in Connemara. It's about 34 kilometres in length. There's no real climbing in it, and basically it's the bog road that runs from Roundstone towards Clifden, but to make a loop out of it we're then going to come along the stunning coastline that runs by Dogs Bay and Errisbeg. Now there's a couple of places you could park if you're driving. One is outside Keogh's pub in Ballyconneely. They have a huge car park opposite, have a meal and a pint there afterwards maybe. There's also the Marconi station near the turn off for Clifden, and Roundstone itself has parking. As you'll see, the bog road has no parking at all. It's a single track, narrow, twisty road about 12 kilometres long crossing the bog. So as well as the route itself, I'm going to stop off at a couple of the places of interest on it. And those include the Coral Strand, Dogs Bay, Errisbeg, which is the small mountain there above Roundstone. Roundstone itself, of course. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you there's two roads you can take through Roundstone. If you've been there, you must be going, where the hell is the second road? And the answer is, well, it's a road, and it's above the village, up against the side of the mountain. And basically what it is, it's a gravel track across commonage. If you've got a bike that is... it's got tyres that are a little bit better than a road bike tyres. You can probably manage it. It's rough enough. It's only about 3 or 4 kilometres long. But anyway, let's get started. And I'm going to start us off at Ballyconneely as the easiest place to park. So starting us off at the little village of Ballyconneely, as I said, Keogh's pub is one obvious place to park at, and then heading down towards Roundstone. Now, I really like this road. It does get quite busy with traffic in the summer, but you've got great views towards the 12 bends over on the left-hand side, and over on the right you've got the myriad bays, peninsulas, harbours and small beaches. Most of the small side roads you see heading off to the right are worth exploring in their own right. A lot of them will lead to either a beach, a harbour or both. But coming around this, we can now see Errisbeg there just ahead of us, and that's above Roundstone. Basically, Roundstone is the other side of it. Now, it's also a good spot if you ever want to do a bit of a hike, get up to the top of that and have a look at the view. So get off here where you see the sign that says no dogs. You can walk through there, and basically the route you want to follow, well, one, you can follow that track which goes into the bog and then just comes to an end. But otherwise, basically, if you come up around the side of the lake here, I'm zooming in on the location of where the gate is, so you can imagine yourself coming through that gate up the lake, and then you can get up Errisbeg easily enough from there. There's no particular set route, I think, to the summit. People use lots of different routes and they all get you there one way or the other, but that does give you fantastic views down over Dogs Bay on one side and on the other side over the Roundstone bog, and you'll be able to see the road across the bog that we'll be cycling in the far distance. And I love this view because it's basically Connemara being all water and land, and sometimes the water is sea and islands and sometimes it's lakes and bog, but it's quite hard to tell one from the other when you're looking at it from a height. Anyway, back on the road again, we're going around the side of Errisbeg, and that's taking us to the next place that's very worth stopping, which is the beautiful bay at Dogs Bay and Gertine on the other side. There's also a little old graveyard that's worth visiting here, particularly spectacular from above, of course, as we saw it from Errisbeg, but it's worth visiting in itself as well. And then we're heading down towards Roundstone. Now, here's where I make an interesting decision on this route. If you look on some maps, you'll see there appears to be a road above Roundstone, and that's the road I decided to take on this particular day. Now, you could chicken out and go back into Roundstone here, just go straight ahead, but if, like me, you decide you're brave, then just follow this road as it gets increasingly rougher, and then you come to a gate, and then beyond the gate it's commonage basically, so shut that gate behind you properly, by the way, because there will be sheep, and as you also saw, cows here, so make sure you do shut the gate. This is a rough gravel track. It's big chunky bits of gravel. You're going to be cycling very slow on it, and you don't want to do this on some sort of road bike with carbon fibre wheels. That would not work out well. But on my bike that I use for touring, it's actually grand. And often when I'm touring, I come across these sort of conditions because it gets you off the main road. So that bit of main road We've skipped over there. I'm going to show you that at the end of the video. I'm going to show you what it looks like if you actually stay on that road and don't come off it. So this viewpoint I'm showing you here is from the little island of Inish Ni. There was a turnoff route just there, and I have a video that will show you how to cycle that. It's about 10 kilometers long, and it's very pretty, almost no traffic whatsoever, and again a great view over to those 12 Bends mountains. So coming off that again, we're going to get back onto the road. And we're now heading directly towards the 12 Bends. You can see them in the distance. And this is the road, that main road that leads to Castler, and then also you can get up towards Mam's Cross on it, but we're not doing either of those. We're going to be taking the left turn here. That leads you across the Roundstone bog. So this is a great single track road that's going across the bog. This is one of the biggest expanses of bogs in Western Europe, possibly the biggest. I'm not quite sure which, although I know there's a big bog in Scotland makes the same sort of claim. And it's just masses of lakes. You'll see lots of sheep on this road. You will meet cars coming the other way. You'll see a couple of flashes of them here. And you will also have a couple of very, very gentle climbs. The only real climb on this entire route, in fact, is that climb onto the shoulder of Errisbeg, which isn't very substantial. The actual peak of that mountain is 300 meters. So when you're coming across the Roundstone bog, one thing to look out for is this island, and you'll probably see another couple of examples of this on the route. So you might look at this landscape and imagine this is kind of natural wilderness or something, but in fact what it is, it's the result of sheep overgrazing. And that what demonstrates it is the few little spots the sheep can't easily get to, including this island here because it's in a lake, will actually have trees on them. In some cases quite big trees. Now you can see it's not like they've no struggle with the wind. You can see as you go from right to left there the way it's sloping upwards, and that presumably is with the prevailing wind. But probably quite a lot of the bog would in fact have some sort of low forest or scrub on it. And the thing is, when you get scrub like that, then later on taller trees can establish themselves in it. So quite what the climax vegetation would look like is unknown. But anyway, something to do when you're on the Roundstone bog. Have a look at that. This section where you're cycling on the Roundstone bog, you're actually also on Eurovelo 1, a long-distance cycle route that runs all the way from Portugal to Norway. I've done bits of it in Spain and Scotland. Do check out the archive of other videos on the channel for my long-distance cycle touring trips. You may enjoy those. But we're now coming up to our next spot. That road there on the right, straight ahead rather, will lead you to the town of Clifden. It's only 4 kilometers away. But here we get to the Marconi broadcasting station and the Alcock and Brown crash landing site. That's the state of the plane after they landed in the bog. But this was also the site of the first commercial transatlantic cabling broadcast system. So that's worth visiting. There's not much there now, but you can wander around, and it is particularly worth a look on a good day because you've great views again over to the mountains, and it's a chance to actually walk around a bit of the bog that's fairly accessible because they do have paths laid through it, visiting the old Marconi structures. But here we are coming to our next stop, which is the Coral Strand at Mannin Bay. Mannin Bay, Coral Strand is definitely somewhere that's worth stopping for a swim, even if it's not that warm. The sea always looks like it's the Caribbean, and indeed here is me swimming in it about 3 years ago when I was doing a longer trip all the way up to Westport. This was kind of the starting point. If you've enjoyed the video so far, do give it a like, and maybe also considering giving the channel a subscribe so you can get my future content. This is all about touring by e-bike, and I do the occasional short video trip like this as well. The other thing, as we come back to the start here, that I did that's worth doing is the kayaking that is ran out of the back of the Connemara Sands Hotel there. Mannin Bay is very, very sheltered, so it's a great place as an introduction to sea kayaking. But as we come back towards the end, I'm going to show you the sensible route around Roundstone that avoids this road. So as you keep just going on through Roundstone village, disadvantage of this route is more traffic. The advantage is it's a little bit kinder on your tyres. As I do my long distance cycle tours, I post videos and photos live to Instagram. You'll be able to see those at eBike Touring Life as well, also on TikTok, so you might want to give me a follow on all of those. And the other thing I'm always telling people to do with these videos is do actually read the video description. I'll link to some other cycling you can do around Connemara, but also it's very often the case that other people who know more about particular aspects than I do will post comments. They'll explain stuff in more detail, and some of my videos, or some of the comments on the videos, are a real treasure trove of additional information that you can find out. I know lots of people think you shouldn't do that. Anyway, this video itself, this is a short trip, 30 to 40 kilometers. I've done 2,000 kilometer trips around Spain, Scotland, about 5,000 kilometers around the Irish coast. Hopefully this will get you thinking about that potential for e-bike touring, and perhaps I'll see you on the road as we come to that rough point that we came onto the road at.